ミャンマー少数民族福祉向上大使
As the ambassador for the welfare of the ethnic nationalities of Myanmar and the chairman of the Nippon Foundation, my name is Yohei Sasakawa. The emergency relief humanitarian support to the ethnic nationalities of Burma, Myanmar that the Nippon Foundation has undertaken, the United Nationalities Federal Council,
United Nationalities Federal Council,
and we abbreviate it as UNFC. There are 11 ethnic nationality groups or nations that are members of this United Nationalities Federal Council. We have now with us 10 representatives from 10 nations. Some have come as far away as Florida, who have gotten their visa to enter Japan, or from Belize, from Central America, or from Bangladesh. And also some of the participants are from among the many Burmese residents here in Japan, and we do have 2 representatives from the Burmese community in Japan. We have had a meeting this morning, and we have received the current situation in very much of a detail from each of the 10 nations represented from the Burma ethnic nationalities. We are thinking of a total of $3 million in support, but as initial financing, we would like to give $300,000, and this morning we discussed how and where and what we would like to assist them in relief aid. I would like to first of all explain to you the background of why the Nippon Foundation is involved in providing relief support. I would like to first of all, before that, give you our principle for the Nippon Foundation in our activities. We are really have one mission goal, and through this innovation we aim to achieve a society where all people support one another, reducing the burdens and challenges they face together because we are one family. And for that purpose, everyone has a role to play: citizens, corporations, non-profit organizations, governments, and international bodies. By forging networks among these actors, the Nippon Foundation serves as a hub for the world's wisdom, experience, and human resources, giving individuals the capacity to change society, the hope that they can make a difference. For that, our action philosophy is as follows: that we here at the Nippon Foundation, we identify what is happening where in the world, and we will catch the changes around the world in earlier stages and to answer that without losing any time. We also work constantly to understand what is needed today and where it is required, so we can meet the needs of the highest priority of those times. We are never unencumbered by precedent. We take innovative approaches to new projects, crafting systems to make our society. And we take speedy action once we catch the change that is happening around the world. We show decisiveness in board action, implementing activities nimbly so we can notice changes in real time as it happens. And by extending our networks with individuals and organizations with an awareness of the problems humanity faces, we seek to create great surges of action in society. And as we act upon our action and our philosophy, On the one hand, of course, democratization is taking place in Burma, Myanmar today. On the other hand, for the past 60 years, the ethnic nationalities have been in confrontation with the government. It has not yet ended as of today. I would like all of you present here this afternoon to know this current situation and the reality. The Nippon Foundation from 1976 has been in Burma, Myanmar, especially in my major work of freeing the world of leprosy. We have started already at that time to work in Burma, Myanmar. It was still the junta regime in Burma at that time, but it has eliminated successfully the disease leprosy in their country. In the public health area, or school building, primary school building in the ethnic nationalities areas, and also helping the disabled people. From 2014, Myanmar will serve as the chair of ASEAN, and together with our partner foundation, the Sasakawa Peace Foundation, we are now training first-class interpreters, conference interpreters, as we have been asked by the Burma or the Union government to do this. We have already given $25 million in support in financing this whole project. We have also answered to the democratization process in Burma, Myanmar, and from this year onwards we will be continuing on with our support in 22 projects, for example, building schools in the remote areas or in public health area, or to distribute medicine into these remote areas, and we will be giving $85,000. This year in June, I have been mandated from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Japan as the ambassador for the welfare of the ethnic nationalities in Burma, Myanmar. I have met a number of times with President Thein Sein and also with Ms. Aung San Suu Kyi as well. Meeting these people and talking to these two dignitaries of Burma, Myanmar, I have come to understand that both of them feel that without a solution of the ethnic nationalities, there will be no genuine peace and democratization in Burma, Myanmar. They agree on this very issue. In order to solve this issue, this problem, I feel that it is very, very important to have a very transparent and honest dialogue with the ethnic nationalities. And therefore, I have taken steps, especially to talk with the members of the ethnic nationalities. The members present here from Burma, Myanmar, most of them live on the borders of Thailand in Chiang Mai, and I have had an occasion to talk with them a number of times. And we have also signed the Memorandum of Understanding to provide in the first stage $300,000 in relief support. We would have liked to have the Union government as well as the UNFC too, and also for the Nippon Foundation to have a tripartite agreement. But the Union government feel that it is a bit too early to officially acknowledge the UNFC. At that point in time that we, the Nippon Foundation UNFC, signed the Memorandum of Understanding. And therefore the Nippon Foundation has signed the Memorandum of Understanding together with the UNFC. Following that, on October 6th, just a few weeks ago,
和平交渉担当大臣でありますアウンミン
the Nippon Foundation
大統領府大臣並びに
signed
ソーテイン大統領府大臣と会談しまして、
we actually had a meeting with Minister An Ming and also Minister So Teng concerning the support that the Nippon Foundation can give. And we have been able to sign the Memorandum of Understanding with the Union Government representative for the peace process. And with this Memorandum of Understanding signed between the two ministers and ourselves, we are able to start the emergency relief aid. As I mentioned at the very beginning, we do have representatives from 10 nations this afternoon, and including one nation which is absent today with us. We have discussed in the morning in detail how we can supply the different emergency materials. There are many areas where we need to send these goods, for example, in the mountainous areas. So we have the option of sending goods from Thailand. And in Kachin, of course, it might be quicker to go via China, and also from across the border of India or Bangladesh. So there are issues that we have to still consider. It will take a little bit of time because we do have to get involved in diplomatic negotiations if we are to transport our goods from these neighboring countries. But because there is over 1 million IDPs, or internally displaced people in Burma, Myanmar, they are people who have been really forced to live in jungles or in the mountainous areas or in difficult areas because of the conflict that took place in Burma, Myanmar. And it is said that there are more than 1 million people who are living in these very difficult conditions. Of course, the transport of sending these relief aids does incur quite a difficult situation. But we would like to, in the initial stage, provide $300,000, and we will monitor the transportation of the relief goods, and eventually we would like to add the remaining of the $3 million, namely $2.7 million, to resupply the total of relief aid. Of course, this is not enough, but what is important is that we transmit this whole activity throughout the world, throughout every country, so that the support that we are specifically giving to UNFC to the ethnic nationalities, so that other people can follow suit and deliver their aid as well. I feel that we can become a trigger, or can become really the locomotive to really lure other global organizations to follow suit. From the Union government,
この会議が政府とミャンマー政府と少数民族との和平プロセスの一環と位置づけて行われると理解し、これを契機として
a part of the peace process between UNFC and the Union government, and we're taking this as an opportunity that ethnic nationalities and the Union government will actually be able to successfully close an agreement to the ceasefire agreement and eventually lead to the peace process dialogue. This is what we have been we have had the message from the Union government that this conference is positioned as such. The representatives from the nations will give us their reports in a while, but the Nippon Foundation feel a great responsibility of how and where and what we are going to supply in way of relief emergency goods. We will monitor activities and monitor every bit of the emergency relief aid activities, so that there will be a genuine peace that will come about to Myanmar. And I would like to close my report, and I would appreciate any questions that you might have at a later point. And since we have Colonel Oka as the leader of the delegation, I would like to pass the microphone on to Colonel Oka.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. His Excellency Sasagawa, just our UNFC and ethnic delegations have regarded him as our goodwill ambassador. Today we are here to represent UNFC, just our chairman introduced you already. We come here now 10 different ethnic nationalities, but we are united in diversity, unity within diversity. So we come here as a united nationalities and as a federal council. Actually, federal council is our future political aim for our country to be established in federal system. That is our political aim. For today, I'm very grateful and very proud to be the guest of our Nippon Foundation, as well as our ethnic nationality from Burma. We are the guests of Japanese people, Japanese government, and all democratic lovers of the Japan. Because we have seen some differences in our country from the perspective of international approach. Herewith, I would like to take opportunity to point out two big differences this time when we deal with the international community. The first, most of our neighboring countries of Burma always exploit our country for the business, for the economic point of view, and they don't care much the very poor population. Among the population of Burma, our ethnic populations are the most marginalized, the most disadvantaged, and the most severe victims of the armed conflict. Different from that, the Nippon Foundation and the Japanese government and Japanese people very clearly made the simple approach: non-profit, non-beneficial interest, just humanitarian approach, humanitarian point of view, come to see our poor population, come to see our ethnic area. As soon as we have a small glimpse of the ceasefire arrangement are coming, some areas comparatively become stable, then we are thinking to support most needed humanitarian assistance to the crisis area. So that is a big difference from the economic approach. Second approach is that we, the ethnic nationalities, are resisting, defending ourselves, claiming our national liberation movement for 60 years. The outside community never seen, never recognized the movement. Only this time, we are very proud to be recognized by Japanese people and especially for Nippon Foundation. In that case, in the coming peace process, it may be long, it may take time. Now we just on the first step of ceasefire agreement. Even some of our member organizations stay not yet ceasefire. They are still defending themselves, defending their territory, defending their population. We need more accurate information from the ethnic conflict areas. At the same time, the detail of the from our side we call military regime. Diplomatically we call union government. This union government peace process, we need to explore. We need to make more careful approach. Actually, the ethnic organization, leaders, population, they love peace, they want peace. Peace is very essential for their daily life. Without peace, because of military operation, they are dying every day, suffering every day, no food, no security, no education, no health care. So when the peace comes, they can have their human security again. In that case, some Western countries try to make a peace broker. We call peace broker. Many communities try to make peace broker. Sometimes we don't know sincere or not. But from the Nippon Foundation, we dare say that it is very sincere approach. Nothing for political influence, only simple peace with dignity for all of our ethnic. So, we are most welcome to cooperate with Nippon Foundation as the representative of all the Nippon population, Nippon people. We take the Nippon Foundation as the representative, the legal representative of your people. We regard like that. So, we will cooperate to work with Nippon Foundation from the beginning, humanitarian assistance to ceasefire, observer, then the whole peace process to observe. And if the other side agree, our first request is monitor. Peace monitoring. And more than that, we want mediator, peace mediator. Step by step, we want to go by that. In March, our UFC delegation is here once, and then we request to the MOFA for mediator role. But as a international law, the government has difficult position to be with us in this peace process. Even Osaka status may be difficult for the government. Now we have Nippon Foundation to witness ceasefire. We have ceasefire 2 levels. State level and union level. So that both levels we want to be observed by Nippon Foundation. At the same time, when UNFC have a chance to table political dialogue, in order to achieve political solutions, more important agreement will be making by that political meeting. Then we want Nippon Foundation to witness the agreement and to keep the agreement. Whoever countersign in the agreement breaching of the contract, breach of contract. We need that because of the history, always teach us the central power, central government only cheated all the time. This time we need independent observer, neutral observer to be in the agreement, to see the agreement. That is our impression and most depends on the Nippon Foundation, Japanese government, and Japanese people. I maybe brief my report here. Our member organizations, one-on-one, have to report briefly about their ground situations. Thank you very much. Any questions, please? I will be happy to answer later.
何かご質問が終わりでしたら後ほどお答えいたしたいと思います。どうもありがとうございました。Now we would like to invite questions from the floor. I would like to ask a question to Mr. Sasakawa. Now you mentioned about food and medicine. Specifically, what would they be? And within the conference, is there anything that you have decided on, any issue? And when are you planning to start your activities? We, of course, the representatives of the ethnic nationalities will take the results of the conference back to their homes and discuss this. I mentioned specifically as a location from the Bangladesh border, Indian or Thai border, or from the Chinese border would be for things that we have to really use the neighboring countries as our route, we do have to go into diplomatic negotiations. So our highest priority is to transport the goods from within Burma. And we would like to start from transporting goods from Burma, and therefore the distribution or the delivery of the goods to the ethnic nationalities would unfortunately have difference in timing of the delivery. For food, it will be mainly rice. And for medicine, we have not yet finalized our details, but we already are delivering traditional medicine boxes within the remote areas of Burma, and we are also able to provide that to the refugees in IDP. Of course, our traditional medicine boxes are very effective for primary health care, for example, for fever, for cold, or for diarrhea, and they are mainly medicines from the traditional medicine of Burma that is included in these boxes. Ned, I have a question to Mr. Sasakawa. Sasakawa. Now, from aid to peace, I think that is a very important move and also very unique action on the part of the Nippon Foundation. But what the support you're receiving from the Japanese government, or what is a collaboration specifically you have with the Japanese government, if you could answer to the extent that you can. As you know, the Japanese government has a task force that has been established, and that is both from the public and the private sector. And therefore, Nippon Foundation, being a private organization, we are really the first troops that will be going to the front line. And it should be the Japanese government and JICA that should be taking the first support, but it will take time, at least 3 years for these public organizations to support Burma. But the government and the public sector has very deep interest to the Burma, and within such a short time we have been able to have members of the ethnic nationalities come from afar, and the Japanese government is also within the collaborative mood, and they are ready to support the Nippon Foundation's activities as well. And I feel that this is part of the task. I have a question to Mr. Sasakawa. Now, the specific details of the aid, I think you will still have to finalize, but through the negotiations that you have had with the ethnic nationalities up until now, what do you feel are the needs specifically of the ethnic nationalities? Later on, if there is time, I would like you to understand that the ethnic nationalities issue and the information that the ethnic nationalities have, there is a huge gap, and we have to understand this huge gap between what we feel are the needs. If there is a ceasefire, it does not mean that peace will follow immediately. In the past over 60 years, there has been frictions, conflicts, fighting. And for these people, democratization and also the process of peace means that there must be specific fruits or results of democratization to the people who are living as refugees or displaced people. There has never been such an opportunity in the past, and I think that what we are starting to do as Nippon Foundation will be a trigger to really have people follow suit. To be really sent out of your homes, from your villages, means that you have lost everything, your house, your fields, and all your property. And they have to live in the jungles and the mountainside. And the total number is over 1 million people. When we say refugees, normally it is people who leave the country. So we can understand their situation to a certain extent. But in the case of Burma, they are internally displaced people, and therefore we do not have detailed, clear information or knowledge about the internally displaced people. So later, if you could stay for the presentations, I think you will get a clearer view. I have a question to Colonel Oka. That the armed forces of the ethnic nationalities, you have the KIO, and it has been reported that there has been a ceasefire agreement signed with the Union government and the KIO. If you could tell me about that. And what are the conditions that you, as ethnic nationalities, will request the Union government for peace, for ceasefire agreement? What are the conditions?
I'm not clear your last question. Peace or ceasefire?
停戦、和平、どちらでしょうか。停戦でよろしいですか。停戦のための条件とおっしゃいましたでしょうか。停戦です。Excuse me, Colonel Oka, it's a ceasefire agreement. What are the conditions that you have put the Union government for ceasefire agreement?
Thank you. When we established UNFC in 2011, the February we established UNFC. That time, we all the members, organizations have their armed wings. All the armed wings, we include that in the Federal Union Army. So most of our members, military wings are within the Federal Union Army. But we keep that activities in low profile, and we open up with the peace process. In that case, our first strategy for ceasefire as a UNFC as a whole, to take ceasefire process together, talk together, agree together. But unfortunately, in 2012 January, some of our members have separately signed the ceasefire agreement with the Union government. Then the UNFC headquarters negotiate that the ceasefire agreement can made by member organizations differently because of their positions, their strength, their territories, their populations, their conditions are different. So, initial stage, ceasefire agreement can be made by individual members. It was allowed by UNFC. But the ceasefire conditions made by individual members most of the conditions are the same, only a few different. The ceasefire condition means stop fighting each other, open the liaison office agreeable by both sides, and camping, positioning of the army, the resistance army in the defined area. And when the members of the resistance group travel along the Union, they must be allowed, and all the political issues need to be addressed in the Union level talk. That is the first ceasefire agreement among the conditions are almost like that. But some members put more conditions, something like code of conduct for both military, some put terms of reference for the in the period of the ceasefire, and some put only a few members put special economic zone or economic development in their ceasefire conditions, but not all. After that, the ceasefire agreement were locally made. They made by the, for example, when the resistance group is in the Chin state, they have to sign ceasefire with the Chin state government. And later they have to proceed for Union level peace talk and to make agreement with Union government ministers. two steps. But both of the two steps stay around the ceasefire situation, ceasefire condition, never heading to any political dialogue or political agenda are not yet addressed. Because sometimes when approach to union level, the other issue rather than the ceasefire are narcotic drug eradication, native language teaching, and some small scale development, and some small scale health and education project from the union government side discussed in union level. But after that, the UNFC as a whole decide we need to proceed to political dialogue in order to achieve political solutions. Only political solutions we can compromise and agree, and both sides guarantee and sign. After that, we believe the real transition, the real reform is there. So, at this point, we are only demand from the central government, union government for political dialogue to be open, to be started. So far, we have two agendas, two different agendas. For political dialogue, President Thein Sein have 8 points agenda. From our ethnic nationalities organizations, we have 6-point agenda.
また私どもは6点の項目をこれは UNFC すべてのメンバーが合意をした6点の協議内容というものを提出しております。それを通しましてミャンマー政府がその6点について協議を開始するということを要求しております。
So when we talking on the agendas,
ということでこの6点のアジェンダでございますけれども、ここから政治協議が始まることを我々は望んでおります。ということで、まず国際社会もオブザーバーとして参加をしてほしい。独立した中立的なオブザーバーとして参加をしてほしい。またいろいろなその協議の中での妥協するときにも第三者的な国際社会のオブザーバーをしてほしい。また停戦、そして政治協議を我々はそのような形で望んでおります。
I'd like to ask a question to Chairman Sasakawa. The last time that the delegation came, it seems as if they made a request, as far as the UNFC is concerned, to have the Japanese government act as a mediator in the peace process. And it seems as if this is what they are seeking. Do you have any ideas as far as the Nippon Foundation is concerned? Do you have any thoughts as to being a mediator in this peace process, or perhaps participating in some other way as an observer, perhaps?
Me? I think your question is in May, we request to the MUFA to be mediator by that time. But they immediately respond as a position of the government to take part or to take intervene in the domestic affair of the other countries not so good. So mediator or monitoring the thing.
ですから私たちはこの国内情勢に関しましてモニタリングをしていただく必要があるということをお願いしているわけであります。そしてまた人権の侵害というものが長年起こっているというのが私たちの国内の状況でございますので、これは国際化しなければならない問題であるということです。国内問題だけではないわけであります。そしてまた政府の政策を考えてみますと大変その 介入するというのは難しいことかもしれませんけれど、そういう場合は、例えば日本財団であるとか
maybe more easy
が、もっと容易にオブザーバー的な役割を果たすことができるのではないかというふうに願っております。もちろん人道的な支援というものも大切な支援でございます。もうこれは
people are starving,
人々が生活において苦しんでいる、そしてまた命を失っていっている、その中で食料が必要です。そしてまた医薬品が必要であります。そしてまた国内的には農業などを営んでなんとか食料をそれぞれの地域のその住民に届けようとしてるんですけれど、しかし、だいぶそのミャンマー政府というのがこういうような我々の努力に対しましても妨害行為なども行っているわけでありますので、もし可能であれば日本財団にその仲介役、調停役を務めていただければと願っているわけでございます。I have a question to Mr. Ocker. 2 points. First of all, as far as the Myanmar government, Burma-Myanmar government is concerned, it seems as if they have approved the provisioning of humanitarian aid to your minority groups. And I'm wondering if this is the first time that this has been allowed on the part of the central government, union government. That's the first question.
Yeah.
You just like to ask one question? Maybe you'd like to ask the second as well. Yes, I'd like to ask the second question as well. When there is a ceasefire agreement, there is a minority group or groups that have not agreed to the ceasefire as yet. Which group or groups would this be? If you could please tell us that. That's the second question. Thank you.
Thank you. For the union government, now they start to allow to cooperate with the humanitarian assistance to the ethnic areas. But from their point of view, they want to support their own peace process. The ceasefire process, peace process, the union government have their own strategy. So in that strategy, they want to apply the humanitarian assistance, sometimes as an instrument to persuade the ceasefire organizations to abandon their political aim. They always announce the resistance movement are because of poor, because of no education, because of no income. They ignore the political problem, political root cause of the resistance. They ignore. So when they try to support humanitarian system, even not their own money, the foreign aid they bring in and they try to support some. One example is Norwegian aid. They bring Norwegian money and they support a part of a pocket area, a part of small IDP. They support immediately. And they support with identity card, recognition of the group area, step by step. But they have no overall plan. They don't want to support, they cannot support the whole Korean population. They only support a pocket area, a pocket group of IDP. That it makes a problem between even the Korean organizations and Korean community. Then now, after that, our KNU leaders will explain their situations. That kind of thing happens. So we are afraid
ことがあるわけであります。
The
それが現状で
Union
ございます。
government may abuse
し
this
かし、ミャンマー政府というのはそういうような
as an
海
instrument
外からの人道支援という
to
も
deal
のを
with the ceasefire group.
悪用をし、
So
そしてまたそれを用い
they
て
need to be
こ
sincere
う
in
いう
that
ような
case.
停
We
戦合
need
意をもたらそうというふう
to
に
observe or
自
monitor
分たちが
even
都合のいい
in
ように活用す
humanitarian
るかもしれ
assistance.
ません。しかしもちろん私たちはそういう人道支援
And
を必要としてい
ceasefire
ることが
agreement
事実なんです。そしてまた停戦合意に関しては
How we define that?
それをどういうふうに定義するかというのが重要
Some
な問題
members
だ
are
と思い
still
ます。
fighting. They're fighting because they
まだ
need to
戦い続けている者
defend
もおります。
themselves. They need to protect their
身を
population,
守る
so
必
they
要
have
があ
to
るから
fight.
であります。そ
The
の地域
military
の
operation
自分
from
た
the
ちが
Union
代表する
government.
民族を政府
In
から
that
守
case,
る必要があるからであります。
In 1990, 91, 92,
そして
93, that time, the
1991年か
military
ら
regime
93年の間に
already agreed ceasefire with many
多
organizations,
くの
many
こ
army,
の少数
ethnic army.
民族を
But
代
they never
表いたしま
keep
す
their promise.
軍との
That
停戦
time,
合意に
after
達したわけであり
ceasefire,
ますけれ
they
ど
promised
しかしそれを
all
守
the
り続
ethnic
けな
can
かっ
talk
たわけであります そ
what
してま
kind of
た
political status they want
どういうような
They
政
have a
治的な
chance
地位に置かれたい
to
か
have
と
a
いうことに
political
関して
dialogue.
政治的な対
They
話を行
promised, but
って
they
そして
never
これを約束したわけで
fulfilled
あ
their
りますけれど
promise
しかし
for
そういうよう
20
な
years.
話し合いの場さえ
After
設け
that,
られなかったわけであります
They
そしてその後
demand
に
for transform of the ethnic army.
そのそれ
Ethnic
ぞれ
army need
の
to transform
民族
to
の軍を変えな
Border
さ
Guard
い
Force
ということを言ったわ
or
けであり
people
ます。
militia or
そして
police
また
or
それ
any kind
は
of
その住民により
transformation
出来上がって
to
い
be
る
under
してい
control of
るそう
Burma
いう軍
army.
であるとか、あるいはその
This kind of
衆軍的なもの、あ
demand
るい
cannot
は
accept
警
by
察的な
many
もの
groups.
にしなければな
So
ら
they
ないと
defend
いうこ
themselves.
とになったわけですけど、多くの
Then the fighting goes
少数
very
民
on.
族というのがそれを受け入れられない
So
という
the
ふうに言ったわけです
ceasefire
それ
process
でまた戦いが
Still going on
続
for
いて
some
しまった
group,
わけであります。
some
ですか
organization.
らいくつかの
For example,
地域
KIO,
少数グループに
they
とっては
regards
まだ
their
戦い
ceasefire
が
agreement
続
in
いているわけであります。
1994 stay
1994年にも
viable.
停戦合意というもの
Stay
が実現されたわけであります。これはなか
But
な
why
か
the government army attacked
維
them?
持できたわけですけれ
Without
ど、
any
しかし
reason.
全く理由なくして
So
自分たちは攻撃を受けてしまったというのが少数民族であったわけであります。
Established
94
ceasefire
年
agreement is
ですからそういうよ
not
うな
reasonable.
停戦
So they want political dialogue.
合意というものは、
When the
そういうような
political
政
dialogue
治的な対話を通じて
Start
実現するものでありますけれど、そしてまたいつでもそういう
the
ような
armed
対
conflict
話
can
は
stop.
行われま
That is
す。
their
でそして行うことはできます。
definition of
それ
the
によってこういうような武
So
装
some
衝
still
突という
fighting
ものを
because of
やめることができ
they
るわ
have
けであり
ceasefire
ます。
agreement
そしてまた停戦
already.
合意というものを実
So no
現してい
need
る
to
と
make
ころも
another
ある
ceasefire
わけでありまし
agreement.
て、そういうところ
But they
に
want
おいてはま
political
た新た
dialogue
な
after that.
ものを設ける必要はないわけです。し
I
か
think
し
you
政治的
can,
な対話は必要であります。
I get your question or
続
not.
けていく必要がありま
Not
す
so sure.
果たしてご質問にお答えできたかどうかちょっと分かりませんが、そういうことでございます。
つまり、明
Therefore,
確にどの民族が
to
停
say
戦合意をしか
clearly,
してないということは、
to
明
refer
確に
to
は言え
which
ないという
ethnic groups, national groups, have agreed to the ceasefire and which ones have not. You cannot really state that clearly at this point. Is that correct, Mr. Oker?
Okay. I think everyone knows the media. they already announced many times.
まあ皆様方、マスコミのことはですね、よくご存知かと思いますけれど、また追加質問があったよう
By
で
the
すね。
timeline, I also
タイライン。
have to mention about our
タイム
UFC
ラインですか。
member.
私た
Non-UFC
ち
member,
の
I will not touch
UNFC の
because
まあ加盟
they are not our
組織に
business.
関しては申し上げることはできます。それ以外
UFC
に関してはちょっと
members,
申し上げることはでき
among the
ないんですけど、UNFC の
the first signing organization is Chin National
加
Front.
盟といたしましては、まず陳族が
6 January
停戦合意に達成しているわけであります。1月
and
6日に。
second signing
そ
is
して第2に
PKNU,
PKNU です
January
か。
12th, the same month.
まあカレン民族同
And later
盟ということでございます。KNU でござい
Follow
ま
it
す。
the
1月12
SLPP,
日ということであります。その後に SSPP とい
New
うこ
Muslim
とでありま
Party,
して、シャンシ
SLPP,
ュ、
Shanghai Progress Party,
これは進歩党
And
と
New
いうことでありま
Muslim
して、
follow suit.
そして新
And
聞
later
州と
Granny Progress
そしてその後に、こちらのカレニ民族進歩党、そして最後に私たちの組織、このパオ民族自由組織ということでございます。それは各州レベルでということであります。
That all from our UNFC.
私どもの UNFC といたしましたら以上であるかと思います。
KIO、
そしてまた
PSLF、LDU、
そしてまた LDU、PSLF、
ANC、
そして ANC。
They are left behind.
これらはちょっと遅れを取っているということでしょうか。アラカン民族評議会、そしてまたラフ族民主同盟などなど。Well, regarding a portion of those that are still fighting vis-a-vis the central government, it seems as if they are developing nuclear weapons, receiving assistance from North Korea, and that's been said, and there is evidence of that, they say. If that is indeed the case, then to provide aid to such an administration, is that something that is allowable? This is a basic issue. As far as Mr. Kun Okar and as far as Chairman Sasakawa is concerned, I'd like to ask what sort of understanding you have regarding that. Regarding assumptions and predictions, I am not in the position to answer these questions that are based on assumptions and possible predictions. Well, to Mr. Kun Okar, you are different from the others, but when we think about the ABSDF and those that are fighting against the Union government, as far as their assertions regarding that, how do you understand it? Do you think it's true that North Korea is providing nuclear technology to the Union government so that nuclear weapons can be developed? I'd like to ask Mr. Kun Okar that question. Do you have any awareness of that, sir?
I think that rumors are something the previous military regime daydreaming. The regime made friends with North Korea, try to develop nuclear program. They are to do something to balance the Western power and the Eastern power. Now, they are favoring from the US, lifting all the sanctions, investment, everything, because they want to exchange with relationship with the North Korea and to abandon the nuclear power.
との関係というものを変えていって、そしてそのような核開発計画という考えを放棄しているのではないでしょうか。ですから、ビルマというのは、軍対軍の関係をこれからも促進していくというようなことは、考えてみればですね、そういうような北朝鮮との関係というものを切断するということになるのではないでしょうか。そういうようなパワープレイのゲームのようなものはあるようでありますけれど、Well, if that is the question, it seems as if they were interested in developing nuclear weapons, but now they are not doing it. Is that correct? Well, those are questions that go against the grain of the intent of the press conference today. But I do think it is related to whether or not support will be provided. I'd like to end my question here.
Sorry, this will be the last question since it is 3 o'clock. I have included information in your press kit. It is to transmit information from Japan throughout the world. I would like to change the subject totally. Question to Mr. Sasakawa. When you deliver goods and medicine, For example, in the mountain areas, I'm sure the access is terribly bad. How are you going to deliver food and medicine? And I'm sure security is not that good. How specifically, who will be delivering these goods? Thank you very much for your very good question. In the past, NHK Publishing, there is called The Corridor of the Forest. It's a book that was published from the Oya Soichi group. It is out of print. But to read that book, I find that there are very difficult areas for access. And in some places, you have to take an elephant to deliver these goods. So it is for us to really think of what sort of route, and it is the UNFC's responsibility as well to find out how we can deliver these goods through which routes. And we, as Nippon Foundation, would like to monitor that. In the dry season, I think maybe it will be possible to deliver goods, but in the rainy season, I feel that it is almost impossible. Thank you very much. It is already 3 o'clock, and I would like to close the press conference. We will have the ethnic nationalities representatives to give a presentation on the current situation of their nations. So if you would wait for a while till we change the setup.